So how was the week?
It was good. So he doesn't really react to other dogs, even when they like bark at him or anything. He just kind of walks by them.
How is he with the? Because I know some people still walk up to you and everything. He was pretty cool with it, anyways. But is he still cool with it and everything? Like, okay, good.
Yeah, like I guess even when other dogs like want to sniff him,
Yeah.
he just kind of like sniffs them back and then doesn't really like bark at them or anything.
Cool.
Yeah, so I guess like one issue that we're having is that like he really wants to go. If he really wants to go somewhere, he'll kind of like slowly inch out of the heel like by my side, and then when I turn to kind of like get him back into position, he's very like vocal and whiny about it. So he's just like very eager. And I tried like when they're I guess like very vocal, like I tried the holding it up with the leash and stuff, but I feel like that just makes him more vocal. So I guess in those cases I don't really know what to do.
So it's like, remember when I was, so is it similar to like when I was pulling him away from you that first time we were doing recall, like that much vocalization? When you were doing the turning, when you did the turn, he was like more like...
It's more just like, not like barking, but like high-pitched whining.
I see.
Yeah.
But is he holding the position or is he still breaking every single time?
He's like by my side, but whining.
Okay. So what you can do for that, does he see the dog or what is he looking at something? Or does he just know where to go, kind of?
I think he just knows where we're going.
So and then what's the highest you've been when correcting that?
I think like a 60.
60?
Yeah.
You can do a few things. You can keep playing with that number, and even though he's still locked in, I still tap turn, even he's still locked in, because it's, the higher the number, the more cautious, because he's out of it, right? So we need to either increase the number and turn to catch him off guard, so that he's thinking, I'm here, I'm next to mom, the number's getting higher, I must be missing something. So then you'll start to see him kind of like dial down and be more focused on you, because he's like, what am I missing? Like he has to focus more because the number's getting too much for him. So you can do that, and then just be, tap turn, and then if he's still whining, increase the number by 5, tap turn, still whining, tap turn. Or what you can do is, depending how far you are, you can tap while you're walking to calm him down. The pulling up is just like if you're just in stationary kind of, just to calm him down. But there's a little bit different because you're moving. So it's harder to correct energy when you're moving because energy wants to move. So, and you have to get there anyway. So if you wanted to do stationary, you'd still have to move to get to that spot.
Yeah.
So I just try increasing that number and just turning, even though he's in heel, because we're correcting the over, like the whining and everything.
Yeah.
So I would try that.
Okay.
Where is the area?
It's just like a hill behind this building.
Oh, it's right there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We'll see if we have enough time. We'll see. Yeah. Anything else? So that's the pressing the boundaries going to that location.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I guess he's been doing pretty good with recall, except when there's like a ball that he really wants to chase after. But I feel like that's just something that we need to work on more. But otherwise, like he's been pretty good at like recalling and stuff.
Cool. Another thing that might help with the wanting to go over there is correcting his, maybe Stay will help with this, but impulse control. So like when he sees me, he's like, I want to see him, and he just does it, right?
Yeah.
So we can start correcting that, because he's acting on impulse, and that's not good for dogs, because we want like self-control. Like, okay, Enrique's coming, I know I need to sit next to mom and be behaved, instead of just like, oh, Enrique's here, I'm gonna go say hi, because it's the same thing there. It's just impulse, like he wants to go because he's following his like impulse, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we can start correcting that and then see what that gets us. So it'll be correcting this, and just like if he sees your friend or dog, and like, you know, I would correct it and then release him on your terms.
Okay.
So yes, we'll start doing that, see where that gets us. Any questions about that?
Yeah, so I guess like usually right now I just let him go up to my friends whenever they're approaching.
Mm-hmm.
So I should like have him sit next to me and
Yeah, so if you're in heel
yeah.
and you see your friend, you can go ahead and stop and let your friend come to you, and then whenever you're ready, break, and then he goes on your terms.
Okay.
Instead of like I'm not sure if you're doing this, but like, for example, like a lot of owners like will see their friend, they're like, oh, and they're like, yeah, he can go see him, and then they break either on movement or they just let the dog break the heel, and that's going to create an issue in the other commands.
Okay.
Another example would be like he's in heel, you want to break him to the grass, it says break, and then he goes, right? What you're creating is like one day you're going to be walking towards a piece of grass and he's just going to launch himself because he's like, this is the break. This is what we do when you're going to let me go to the grass. So that's another issue it'll create if you're not doing step by step, making it very like, you know, slow for him. Like we come here, we sit, and then I break you, just for like more self-control kind of.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else?
Those are my questions for now.
Cool. We will do the stay command. So go ahead, put him into a heel. You're gonna walk this way, walk that way, and come back to the camera right here whenever you're ready. Good. And then you'll come back around just so you're not in the sun. Good, right there. Good. So right now, he's in a heel command, right? So if we want him to stay in the heel command, we can't say sit if you knew sit because he's already in the sitting position, right? So if we want him to stay in a position where he's at, so for example, he could be laying down or just sitting somewhere else, and we would use stay. So stay, what is it? Is not really often used in like our training program because all of our commands have an implied stay in them. But for here, this is a good use of it to practice. So what I'm gonna have you do is we use our left hand and we're gonna wave it across Shadow's face, cueing the word stay with it. So it's gonna be stay. And then with your leash, if you have it like this, so like here and then here, you say stay, grab that again, and then you're gonna pivot out with your right foot and face Shadow like this. And then you're gonna have your leash up and ready because we're gonna assume he's gonna break it. Now there's no tension because tension could make him move, but it's ready to pull up. So again, he's here, good. Stay, left hand, grab the leash, pivot out, be ready. And then if the butt gets up from the ground, we're gonna pull up and then tap. But the reason why we want this much like leash away from us is because if, for example, if we had like more leash here, then he'd make it to us and then we had to put him back over there versus just pulling up and keeping him there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So go ahead and do the stay, and then I'll guide you through the leash holding above him and everything.
Okay. I just wait.
Yes.
Stay.
Good. Now here, go ahead and more leash. Good. Right there, yeah, perfect. So that's like the amount we're gonna be using for now, just to keep him there. What else? So again, if he gets up, we don't repeat stay. It's just pulling up and correcting it with the e-collar and the leash to guide him back there. So go ahead and go back to his right side. Good. And give him a little bit of praise. Good boy. Good. And then you're gonna do a heel, and then you're gonna come back to this position again.
Heel.
Or you can just slow to a stop whenever you like, yeah. Good. Good boy.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Okay.
You're fine.
Stay.
Good. And then return to his side, and then good boy. And then whenever you're ready, heel again.
Yeah. Stay.
Good. Good boy. Real quick, let me see something. I think we're good. So now we're gonna advance it a little bit. So you're gonna repeat that whole thing again, the pivoting out, and you can just do it right here. But you wouldn't repeat stay because he's already in the stay right here, right? So you would just continue to pivot out. And what I'm gonna have you do, if he's right here, I'm gonna have you walk like halfway, like a half circle around him. Good. And if he gets up, we'll correct as needed. So go ahead and just pivot out. Don't repeat stay. Good. So yeah, tap. Good. Good. Good boy. Going into a heel.
Heel.
And then slow to a stop. I forgot to mention something. So if you're walking around shadow and then he gets up, I'm gonna have you pause and then correct. Because if we correct while we're moving and we're tapping, he's gonna think heel, right? Because we're moving and he's feeling pressure. So if we stop and just pull up and we keep him there, it's gonna help him kind of realize what is needed to turn off the pressure.
Okay.
So go ahead and cue stay.
Stay.
Good. Good. Good boy. And then go into a heel.
Heel.
And we'll do 3 more.
Stay.
Good. He thought about it. Good. 2 more.
Heel. Like, what if he's like not looking at me, and then do I still cue it, or?
It's fine. If the dog's not looking, I still wave my hand, or you can do what you're doing with just the hand. I still go for it because he's also hearing it, But the stay is just a visual for him. But yeah, it's fine.
Stay.
Yep. Good. 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 And 1 more.
Heel. Stay.
Good. Good job. Go ahead and do another half circle. What's your number?
45.
Go to 55 because he sees his friend. Good. Another half circle. Good. Cue the word heel and come to me.
Heel.
Tap. Good. Good. Do 1 more stay, and then for this one, first, so the reason why we're pivoting out with the right foot is because left foot is heel. So in more advanced training, nowhere it's said if a trainer stops, continues with the left leg, it's heel. If a trainer stops again, continues with the right leg, the dog automatically just stays there. That's just because you have to be consistent with your body language and everything, and then they'll get the hang of it.
Okay.
But the reason why we're doing it is because, again, to differentiate, because if we were doing stay and then we were pivoting out with the left leg or something like that, or however you want to move the left leg, just moving with the left leg, he's going to think heel. So it's just to help him differentiate between the two. Okay. In the future, you don't have to, obviously, like, you know, pivot out like that dramatic. It can just be like the right foot, you know, you can make it smoother once he starts to understand the concept of it. What else? Do you have any questions so far?
I don't think so. Have I been using my right or left? I guess I have.
You've been using your right, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. If I'm not noticing it, then it's usually correct. But if I see left leg, I notice it right away. But
Okay.
You've been doing the right leg.
Okay, cool.
Other than that, go for another heel, and then we're gonna do 4 more with a full circle. If you see Shadow, so like let's say this is sitting, right?
Yeah.
If Shadow does this, but his butt is still on the ground, that's fine. We're not gonna correct that because he's just very focused on you. So I don't know if you notice, he's like watching you kind of go around him.
Yeah.
So we might see that where he's like, he'll like you know, move his butt, but the butt's still on the ground. If the butt comes up from the ground, then we pause, pull up, and then tap.
Okay.
So go ahead whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
Good boy.
Stay.
Good boy. 3 more.
Heel. Stay.
Good. 2 more. Tap. Good.
Stay.
Good boy. And 1 more.
Heel. Stay.
Good. And then on this one, when you return to his side, we'll do another, don't repeat it, but just give him some praise. Good. And then pivot out again. Okay. And then once you get behind him, go the other way of the circle, yeah. Good boy. And then praise. Good. Any questions? It's pretty easy. When you're practicing it, you can, if you're going for the walk and everything, and you're at a stoplight, or like you need to pause there for the traffic and everything, you can just do a little stay there. In realistic scenarios, it would be, he does his potty thing. Let's say he does the number 2. You know, you pick it up, put him back in the heel. Walk to the garbage. Give a little space, stay, have him stay there, and you throw it away. He stays, good boy, heel, and then we continue the walk. What else? So for us, when we get like a boarder trains and daycare and trains, we'll do a little training walk, and then we'll go to like Home Depot. When we're in like the side aisles, we'll do the stay when we're gonna approach the main aisle. So it's like we're in that side aisle. As soon as we're about to approach the main aisle, stay. We pivot out to make sure there's no like dogs, because there's dogs there too, and then like heavy, like machinery moving around or anything like that. Coast is clear. We return back. Good boy. Heel, and then we continue the walk. Or you can use it for obedience as well. Like if he's obsessed with the ball, you can have him play. Put him into a heel, and then have him like sit, and you can like break him like that. Good boy. Just like another reward system for him. Or you can do like the stay, do a little walk around, come back to the side. Good boy. Break, and then he gets the ball. With you knowing recall and you knowing stay now, what we don't want owners doing is having the dog stay, and then you walk with the long leash, and then you recall from that. The reason why we don't want either breaking or releasing and recalling from stationary commands is because we want Xiao to think only that he is only allowed to be released from a command when you're right there. So if he realize that he can be released when you're over there, he might test the boundaries more. So for example, Jesse had a client where a woman, she would place the dog, she'd walk, and then she will go like break, and like she'll like do this like dramatic like visual for the dog. So one time she did this and she didn't say it, and the dog just broke it right away, and she was confused, and it's because of that, the way she's been training that, you know. You can do it if you like. We're not saying don't do it. It's just that you're going to create a problem, and if you do want to do it, you would have to address it to make it more safe, you know. If you wanted to do that, the way you would address it is as soon as he breaks it, you would start tapping on your e-collar. So it'd be tap, tap, and bringing him back to that spot, tap, tap, pulling up, tap, in the position, tap. Once he's there in the spot and in the position, pressure releases, and you're gonna have to keep walking back and forth until he starts to retain it, you know? Any questions about that?
I guess, is that like a similar thing if like he's in his place, I should be next to him to release him instead of like
Yes.
across the room or something?
Yeah, any stationary command.
Okay.
So place, stay, if he's, you know, anything he's like there, staying over there.
Yeah.
We like to release the dogs when we're next to them.
Okay.
What else? And then it doesn't count for like me, like a partner thing, because he's not in the command. He's break, and I'm holding him, and then, you know, you'll call him whenever you're ready. So here, go ahead and pull up. Or okay, there you go. He's got it. Any other questions? It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's any other ways to practice. And you can incorporate this with your long leash too. We can do that later down the line, teaching you how to correct that. But for now, just practice stay with the short leash. You can keep doing heel with the long leash and recall. And then once we get all these stationary commands done, or if, let me see, trying to think. Yeah, later down the line, we'll address that, how to correct with long leash distance if he breaks it. What else? Trying to think. That's pretty much it for stay. Go ahead, we'll do 2 more. Do you have a ball with you?
Yes, I think I do.
Cool, we'll use that to see if he'll break it, just to correct that. Go ahead and release him and grab the ball real quick. Cool. To make it easier for you, I'll handle the ball, so you're not, you know, fumbling and everything with that. Oh shit! That just scared me. So go ahead and here, just put him into a heel. Good. Cool. And then go ahead and do the walk around, and then a stay whenever you're ready.
Stay.
Good. So I'm gonna just toss it in front of you. Go ahead, just do a walk around. Tap, 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 tap. Bring the leash to you, tap, pull up. Good. Do another walk around. Good. Tap. Good. What's your number?
55.
Go to 65. Good. Another walk around. Tap. Good. Tap, tap, tap. Bring him back to the sidewalk. Tap, tap, tap. Right there. Tap. Oh. There we go. 75. Good. And do another walk around. Good. Tap. Good. Tap. Tap. Go ahead and grab higher. Or no, lower. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Good. Good. Tap. Good. Good. Tap. Good. There we go. Give him some praise. And then heel. And then slow to a stop. Good. Do the stay.
Stay.
Grab higher or lower. Yeah, there we go. Come on, toss it. He's doing good. Good boy. Another walk around. And just keep walking around him. There we go. And then what's our number?
75.
Good. And then come back to his side. So 75, he was able to retain it. We were at 55?
Yeah.
So I already knew 55 wasn't working because he was just still, after 3 times, I was like, okay, we're gonna bump it. And then I just realized that he was just not, he didn't care. So we just bumped it to 75 right away. So, so yeah, any questions about that? And then to balance it out, because obviously we don't want to kill the ball drive, you would just break and then he can get it. So he's starting to know when he can go and when he needs to stay under the command and everything like that.
Okay.
Do one more walk around, I'll toss it one more time.
I guess if I'm like giving him like the ball to chase, like should I be on the long leash?
Yeah, so if you're don't do, okay, so when you're practicing, don't do stay from and then walk with the long leash.
Okay.
If you wanted to use a long leash, you would just have it like that, grab it like if you had a short leash, you know? And then you would break and then throw it, and then you have the rest of the leash to hold on to.
Okay.
So it'd be, you have your thumb in the loop, and then your left hand where it's right at, where it's at with the long leash.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What else? I'm gonna toss it right here. Good. Good boy. Trying to think. How much time do we have? Yep. 27 minutes. Let me see. Did you want to try the walking over there?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
We'll see what it does.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
Thank you.
Do people ever walk their dogs like off leash here, like loose?
Sometimes. Usually they just like keep it over there.
Oh, I
Just
see.
like the road is over here and stuff.
Yeah. So here, do a tap turn. Good. Slow turn. Good. Good. There he goes. That's the position. So here, tap turn. Good. Slow turn. Cool. Oh, are we crossing or not? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. Just give a tap. There we go. Tap turn. And let's bump it 5. Cool. Tap. Good. Tap. Good. Tap. That's fine. Yeah, I can tell he's trying to get a little edgy.
Usually in the mornings, like he's kind of like this, but worse because he's like in front of me more.
Yeah.
And then he's just trying to
Tap. Good.
like trying to get over here.
Good. Good. Oh, is this the hill?
Yeah, he's
Oh.
just like right over here. Of course, now he doesn't like whine or anything.
So we'll go ahead and walk back and I'll talk on the way.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready. Good. So squashing it before it gets too much. So
Okay.
when he was like passing it, so here so I like to either look at the shoulder or like the collar. So here he's passing, good. And I was waiting to see if he would autocorrect when he was passing you, but then he kind of kept going, pressing the boundaries. So it's like once he passes an inch, it's gonna be 2 inches, 3 inches, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So if we squash him getting amped up earlier before we get here, or if we miss like the signals of like him looking around, getting overstimulated, if we miss those and don't address it, it goes from like 1 to 2, then 2 to 3, and then it keeps going and going.
Okay.
And then once it gets like above 5, it's a little hard to correct it and bring him down, just because you get the vocalization and he's already up there kind of. But what else? So it could also just be in the morning because he has more energy.
Yeah.
But that's like a perfect opportunity to like address something where he's got like an issue with.
Okay.
So I'd come here in the morning and see what you can get done. If you're still struggling, you can like videotape it.
Okay.
Just so I can see. And then, any questions?
Yeah, I guess like usually when he pulls out in front, I do like the tap and the turn.
Mm-hmm.
Do I always have to turn, or can I just like?
If in the moment, because like we were in the street, right?
Right.
So I just gave a tap, but you would always want to do tap and turn,
Okay.
just so he has something to redirect to.
Okay.
So it's a correct to redirect, just to give him like a guide. But I would keep turning unless you're in a situation where you have to keep moving.
Okay.
You would just tap. What else? Anything else?
So you said to look at the shoulder and how that lines up with my
Yeah,
leg?
to have him like look like a little a guide to know if he's passing you or not.
Okay.
It's either the shoulder. Sometimes like I'll have a hard time finding the shoulder on a dog. So like I've been looking at the e-collar. If the e-collar passes you, it's an automatic tap and turn. Like no, like I'm very strict with it.
Okay.
Because like I said, it's gonna like 1 inch will turn to 2 inches and so on and so forth.
Okay.
So once I see the just passing a little bit, I'm correcting it right away.
Okay.
But anything else?
And then you said if he keeps whining, even if he's next to me, I will tap and turn.
Yeah, try that. If he's still whining, increase it by 5 and continue to do that.
Okay.
I would try that
Okay.
first, see how that goes. If not, we'll go from there. But just try that for now.
Okay.
But yeah, for this week, just practice stay with the short leash if you can. If you're gonna use the long leash, practice like you're using the short leash.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about how to correct that later if you're doing long distance, staying over there kind of.
Okay.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Any questions? Last questions?
Should I have like a shorter leash if he's getting super excited, or should I just like kind of do the same and then just use the e-collar more?
What do you mean, like?
I guess like right now when he tries to go over there, he like
Has a lot of leash to go?
Yeah. And then when he pulls forward, then I turn and tap, so I guess that's also my bad. But in those cases, like, would having a shorter leash be better, or is it we want him to react to the e-collar?
We want him to make the mistakes
Okay.
so that we can correct it. If you're trying to if it's slipping out of your hand and you want a better grip, I try a leather leash. I love leather leashes. Like, it's such a nice grip on it, and they never slip out or anything. Like a nice thin, like leather leash is really good. With that one, there tends to be some slip, like it'll slip sometimes. But if you're just trying to not have him go all the leash, I would just shorten your leash a little bit. Shorten it more if you have to, and just keep that lock. But if you find that you're getting like rope burn or like it still slips out, I try a leather leash.
Okay.
And then how long is that leash? That's 6. About.
Oh, longer than 6.
Oh yeah, it is. It's whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay.
But I give a leather leash a go if you would like to do that. Before you get a shorter leash.
Okay.
Because by then he's gonna hit the leash first before you're able to tap first,
Yeah.
you know? But yeah, anything else?